Progress.
All right, calling to order Historic Landmarks Commission, November 5th, 2025. Let's start with the roll call.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I'll begin with Chair Grumbine.
Present.
Commissioner Butler?
Here.
Commissioner Dorden?
Here.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Present.
Commissioner Lenvik?
Present.
Commissioner Lodge?
Here.
And Commissioner McClure?
Here.
We have quorum. Thank you.
All right, great. So let's go on to public comment. So any member of the public may address the commission for up to 2 minutes on any subject within our jurisdiction that is not scheduled on this agenda for public discussion. So general public comment. So do we?
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for general public comment, with the exception of Commissioner Ensberg, but I have not received word yet. We'll do it during this. All right, Commissioner Ensberg, come on up to the podium. And if anyone else would like to speak under general, you can fill out a speaker slip on the clipboard that's on the binder over there, and you can bring one up to me, or if you want to talk under any other item, you can do that and bring it up to me. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Right now I'm citizen.
That's right, formerly known as Commissioner Ensberg.
Citizen Ensberg. So I last year, a whole year has passed, and here we are again, and I have brought the Kids Draw Architecture. I'm representing the Architectural Foundation of Santa Barbara, and have brought each of you the 2026 Kids Draw Architecture Calendar, and just want to make a few statements about it for you and the public. That for the past 39 years, we have been doing this to help our young ones and their families to understand what it is that makes Santa Barbara different from anywhere else, with a classic style and beautiful built environment in this very special place between the mountains and the ocean. We do this by sketching our important public buildings. And through this activity, we focus on the details, as you can see by these many beautiful examples in the calendar. This year, we enjoyed a beautiful spring day at Casa de la Guerra and at the De la Guerra Plaza, sitting on the lawn, which is very nice, to sketch the historic buildings and their details at our civic center. The cover sketch of City Hall is by 11-year-old Megan Molina, and the inside of the calendar features sketches of all the other 35 young artists ages 4 to 15 who participated.
And City TV, can you take a shot here of the, there we go. Okay, so here we go with the cover.
And we also want to give appreciation to Councilwoman Sneddon, who is also our liaison here to HLC. What? And she...
Right now, can I call you back in a moment?
She joined us this year, and we also, we thank her for that.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. If you
And
wouldn't mind taking that outside if it rings again, please, sir.
I'll just say again, we want to appreciate Councilwoman Sneddon, who came and attended with us, and she is our liaison, as you know, to HLC, and we really appreciated her showing up. And we recognize and thank all the sponsors that are listed on the back of the calendar that help make it possible. And the calendars are available around town at the Architectural Foundation and at many of the bookstores, Chaucer's, Book Den, Art Essentials, the Trust for Historic Preservation, and other places as well. So we urge you to support the program by purchasing some tickets and coming next year and helping us sketch. And finally, the annual show and reception is Sunday, November 16th from 1 to 3 at the Architectural Foundation Atchison Gallery. And for more information, you can call AFSB or me or anyone else who's on the committee. And thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. With that, I do not have any other speaker slips for in-person public comment. We do not have any participants online with us, and we didn't receive any written correspondence under general, so I'm going to give it back to you.
All right. Thank you. All right. On to item B, approval of the minutes of the Historic Landmarks Commission, October 22nd, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner McClure. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. And then under edits, do we have any edits? All right, seeing none, let's have a roll call vote.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvick,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, on to item C, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission consent meeting of October 22nd, 2025.
Moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Butler. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any questions or edits, comments on this? All right, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvick,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge, Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, now on to ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of today, November 5th, 2025. And so, I guess we can get a motion in a second, and then we'll go through them.
I move approval of the consent calendar for today.
Second.
And actually, it's just for ratification of the action. But yeah, okay, so now to staff for a summary of what happened.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Item A was 1109 State Street, which received project design approval. Project design approval and final approval as submitted. Item B was 401 East Victoria Street, which received project design approval and final approval with the condition to plant a stenocarpus as a replacement tree in as big a pot, or in as big a, is it box?
Box.
Box as practical. And then item C was 1426 Bath Street, which received final approval with findings that were missed during project design approval. The comment that the plans demonstrate substantial conformance to the plans that received project design approval, and the comment that the railing at the top deck is an appropriate solution. And that is all for consent.
Great. All right, super. Is there any discussion on that? Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Excuse me,
Lodge.
I think I missed something. Was one of the items the palm tree on
Yes.
East Victoria? And what was the action on that?
We
The-
gave them the approval to take it out if they'll plant a commensurate tree, not a palm, but something else to replace it.
Oh,
And I suggested
I wondered why.
stenocarpus. Sorry?
I wondered why.
Oh,
they-
it was hitting the building. The palm fronds are scratching, and it was
Okay.
not, it was unfortunate, but necessary.
Thank you, yeah.
All right. Any other discussion, questions? All right. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Lenvick,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. On to item E, announcements, requests by applicants for continuances and withdrawals, future agenda items, and appeals.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff has a few announcements today. The city's planning division is participating in a Cal Poly and Regional Planning Graduate Studio to study the De La Vina corridor. And then I'm going to bring up this little visual aid. There we go. To the De La Vina corridor, we saw this as a great opportunity to work with students in the community to advance some long-range planning ideas, mainly housing. The Cal Poly graduates planning students will be in Santa Barbara to present their midterm for the fall 2025 studio, and we invite you to attend an open house event on November 14th. They will be set up at City Hall, 735 Anacapa Street, from noon to 2 p.m. in the IT training room, just south of the Anacapa Street entrance to City Hall down the vehicle ramp. The project is, the De La Vina corridor is an interesting link between the downtown State Street planning effort and the upper State Street redevelopment of the La Cumbre Plaza area. The studio's efforts will be centered on land use, urban form, and opportunities to further the city's housing goals. One of the other opportunities and complexities along the corridor is the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, which has specific needs as a regional hospital, but also as a key destination with unique needs in the neighborhood. In the latter half of the course, the students will present their final recommended strategies to city staff and the decision makers anticipated in spring of 2026. So we just wanted to extend that invitation to you all if you're interested in attending that open house event. And then with that, I'll turn it over,
Quick question. November the 14th, what time?
from noon to 2 p.m.
Noon to 2. Thank you.
And then if there are no other questions, I'll turn it over to Ms. Hernandez.
So last week I announced that we're doing an ordinance amendment to change the term from historic resources inventory to register to align with state terminology. That will be at Planning Commission on the 13th, and we would love for one HLC member to be there in case they say something like it has HLC. What does HLC think about this? And we want one person there. Can someone come on the 13th? That's next Thursday.
Yeah. What is,
1.
anyone have a?
It's at 1 o'clock. It's the first item.
Chair,
2 to 4.
we do have a meeting coming up with the interim for the 1200 block that's on the 13th. What time is it?
2 to 4.
2 to, I think it's 2 to 3.
Okay.
2 to 3.
2 to 3, yeah, I see that.
Okay, so Mr. Commissioner Jordan, you can come.
I can come.
Oh, thank you
Okay,
so
great.
much. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just wanted to, I have a slight presentation for you of some progress on a Mills Act project that I think you'll be happy to see.
All right, great.
So, so we got some progress photos of one of the biggest projects we embarked on, which was 1734 Anacapa Street. And this is what the building looked like in originally with the brown, and it had the round turret. And over the years, someone had replaced it with this square turret, and it had gone into quite a bit disrepair. In fact, it was quite debated if it should even be designated, if we should take this on. And I just wanted to show you some of the later progress that's happening because it's entering the final stages. And you can see the turret has been added back, including the beautiful little tiny windows in the top of the turret here. And they're painting it the brown again, and they're almost done with that. And you can see here they were adding the railing back on, and here it's all added back on, and the highlights of the details and the ornament of the porch here. It's small. And, the fireplaces have been restored. The interior millwork has been restored. Here's more photos of the details of the beautiful little lattice work of the porch being done. They put back the shingle siding on the side walls of the porch, as well as retuck pointed all of the masonry of the porch, and refinishing the wood front porch, not adding tracks, yay. That's one of the big questions I get. The floor, the beadboard of the roof of the porch has all been refinished, and it's almost done. And here, all the hardwood floors have been done. The railings of the interior have been done. And here's the back of the house, which is almost complete as well. And that is just a little happy story for you at the end of the day. And, I only have this next meeting on the 19th is my last meeting. And if you remember anything, the old buildings just need new ideas or new owners. Don't let them go. This one is a showcase for that. And
Our November 19th meeting is going to get continued for
Right.
2026.
And,
So,
right. And December 2nd, we want to invite you, we're having wine at the Fox Winery to celebrate my last day.
December 6th?
December 2nd, Tuesday, December 2nd at 5:15 at Fox Winery in the Funk Zone. It'll be a fun little
all right, great.
cocktails.
Question.
Sounds good. Yes.
5:30,
Is this a
5:30?
private, a residential owned house, or is it? commercial?
Yes, private.
And that's who is restoring the house?
Yep.
Did he say 5:30?
Yeah. It had a bumpy start.
It's been in, I drive by it for years.
Yes,
It's
it was-
been dilapidated.
Yes, it was dilapidated for so long and quite a bit altered, which is why when they came in for designation to even qualify for the Mills Act, it was debated if it would even qualify. But given the plans they approached us with to restore it, we designated it to get the Mills Act.
And was it the same owner from?
No.
Okay, so they sold it too. Okay.
No, a new owner bought the first owner out. The first owner was faltering a little bit, and
Yep.
the new owner came in and really took
awesome.
charge. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, so
Okay. Yep,
the,
Commissioner Ellsworth.
yes, Chair Grumman, so it's 5:30 at the Fox?
Yes.
5:15 or 5:30?
Tuesday, December 2nd.
Get there 5:15.
5:15.
I'll be there 5:15.
She said 5:45 for everyone.
5:15, December 2nd. And I think we'll be sending an email out soon, I think.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, any other announcements, et cetera? All right, on to item F, subcommittee reports. Any subcommittee reports? Commissioner Ensberg.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. If one of you guys would like to report, I'm happy.
go ahead.
But, okay, all right. So the 1200 State Street, we did receive information about the proposed plantings for the 1200 block, and we are going to be meeting with the little team that includes the Botanic Garden on the 13th, November 13th, right? And so hopefully the goal is to, come together and resolve what we all think is going to work the best, and then move forward. They're putting in the amendments now, and so then they want to be able to move right into it and get that done. So that'll be great. And then on West Figueroa Paseo, we are hoping, I sent out an email this morning, just kind of continuing to urge that we move forward and maybe have a meeting of the team to see where we are. It's my understanding from the last meeting 2 weeks ago here that the plans were done and that they were just doing some internal work. So if we could all get together, then maybe we could actually get it moving forward before the end of the year and finish it.
What?
This is the West Figueroa Paseo.
Paseo. The sad Paseo.
Yeah,
Like to see that.
Yeah,
so that's all there is to.
yeah, great, thank you. All right, any other subcommittee reports?
Chair Grumbine,
Yeah.
can we go back to E? I have to leave at 3:45.
Oh, okay,
And I'm involved with the second item, so I can't.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so, but you're involved with the second item as in?
as a consultant, so.
Oh,
I
got it.
have
So
to
you're
step
going
down.
to be stepping down from the second item anyways. Okay, great. And then if you can announce that
Okay.
when we get to that item too. Great, good to know. And we'll keep things marching here. Okay, any other subcommittee reports? All right, let's move on to item 1. This is a continued item for project design approval and final approval, 1315 Alta Vista Road. And so if the applicant come forward, I'll read the description here. So contributing historic resource in the Lower Riviera Special Design District, this proposed remodel of the existing 1,200 square foot two-story residence. Project includes a 1,300 square foot two-story addition, as well as demolition of the existing 147 square foot detached garage to construct a new 250 square foot attached garage. Minor zoning exceptions are requested to allow 3 new windows in the northwest interior setback and an increased height to the garage from 9 feet to 11 feet. Upon the Historic Landmarks Commission's approval of the architectural historian's memo to the Secretary of Interior Standards, the project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review under Section 15301 and Section 15331 for projects to historic resources that meet Secretary of Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. All right, project design approval and final approval are requested. Project compatibility findings, minor alteration findings, and minor zoning exception findings are required. Requesting acceptance of the memo by the architectural historian concluding the project meets the Secretary of Interior standards and may therefore qualify for a secret categorical exemption with less than significant impact to the resource. The project was last reviewed June 27th, 2025. There's a historic significance report and a memo to the Secretary of Interior standards. And so with that, the project team will introduce themselves, and then we'll go to the minutes from last time and staff and any other comments. So,
Good afternoon,
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yes.
I just want to say that I watched the June 27th meeting.
Okay, great, perfect. So, all right, so welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. My name is April Palencia with Vanguard Planning, and I'm joined by my colleague Jarrett Gordon and Chantal Vaux, the landscape architect.
All right, great.
So I'm just going to jump into the minutes.
Let's just check, is there anything from staff?
No announcements from staff at this time.
Okay, And I'll run through the minutes so it doesn't count against your time as well. And then you can just comment on those and whatever other presentation you want. So, sound good?
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. So the motion was to continue indefinitely with the following comments. The commission thanks the applicant and owner for their care of this historic resource and is strongly supportive of the project, the direction it is going, and believes it is an improvement to the neighborhood. 2, find the mass, bulk, and scale of project to be appropriate. 3, general mode of door and window proportions, divisions, and functionality throughout the whole building should match what was original to the extent possible. 4, the front entrance is the most important for restoration of existing or original doors and windows. Consider a V-groove heavy door or other appropriately compatible material if original doors are not available. 5, for the windows, like materials are preferred, ideally wood, but will accept aluminum clad. Ensure muntins are utilized as appropriate for this historic structure. 6, review original documentation of entrance and match that if possible. If not available, make the columns and plaster beam above the entrance plane out in one way or another. 7, return with details of the tile coping on the parapet wall that is being added to match the existing tile cap detail. 8, the general massing and elevation breakup is supportable and accounts for drainage in a practical manner. 9, study rear elevation for asymmetry, focusing on the arched openings, railings, and walls above, with the intention of the project presenting as a complete whole instead of an addition. 10, study the connection of the garage to the main house further, as the only access to the backyard is now through the garage. Some of the commissioners are concerned that a different solution would allow better passage through for maintenance and safety personnel, while other commissioners feel that as long as the fire department and other necessary departments have cleared the change in access, the joining of the structure does not change the character of the neighborhood in a meaningful way. 11, finding for the minor zoning exception are acceptable. 12, consider adding a tree at the northwest corner. 13, the commission is supportive of the ribbon driveway design. Motion was by Drury, second was by Butler, 7-0-0, and Uli was absent. The motion carried. And then, let's see, and as you go through your plans and responses, well, if you can make sure to address how you answered each of those, and then as well as anything else that's new that we haven't seen from last time. And because this is for PDA and final, obviously covering the final details as well. So,
Got it.
all right.
Okay, so first I'll address the door and window proportions, item 3 of the minutes. The original window division breakup at the front facade has kind of that divided light look at the top, and we've carried that throughout all elevations and across the new addition in the back for kind of a cohesive architectural style throughout the project. Number 4, the front entrance was determined by the city historian to most likely be the original porch, and so we left it we did not redesign it. Is that accurate? Okay. And then the V-groove heavy door, the original door is on the house and will be refurbished. The windows we're proposing we're going to refurbish the front windows with those original divided lights and use them in the front portion on the side elevations to the extent that we can. And then we'll have aluminum clad windows that match that historic divided light throughout the rest of the structure. The detail of the coping on the parapet wall is now shown across the top of the parapets throughout the project. And the rear elevation formerly had kind of a flat arch design to it, and we've added some clay tile eyebrow structures over squared off openings. And then I found kind of a typo in our drawings, if you will, which is that we have a little arch over here that's hanging out. We failed to pick up, but the intention is to have that a flat lintel. And regarding the fire access, I'll go back to the site plan here. or the floor plan rather. The garage is best in line with the driveway. The original structure of the garage is in red here. It was undersized, and so it needed to be widened and lengthened just to accommodate modern cars. But we feel that that's the most successful solution for providing covered parking for this project, and it's consistent with other projects in the neighborhood. And the fire department signed off on that concept a year ago, so they're comfortable with that access. And then as for the item number 12, consider adding a tree to the northwest corner. We recalled that that was of the backyard, not of the property. So here, that tree is added as requested. And so structural details are provided, structural plans, civil plans, and here's that coping that we're going to match there, and then window and door details, balcony details. And that concludes my presentation.
All right. Great. Okay, so if that concludes the presentation, we'll go now to public comment. So,
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment for this item. Though if anyone would like to speak, you can approach the podium at this time. But I'm not seeing any movement, and we do not have any participants online with us. And we didn't receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'm going to give it back to you.
all right, great. And all right, to the commission now for questions. And actually, just to start off, so that, can you just kind of flip through the whole set as well, just in terms of details and other things like that too, just so we kind of are visually seeing it in case we have particular questions about those as well?
As you speak or current?
Or just right now, yeah, if we can walk through, because I think there might be some, yeah.
Okay, I'll just.
Just sort of, I know you were going and answering a lot of all those questions, but it is always nice to kind of just see the whole set as well,
Sure
as
thing.
we're, as we're kind of reviewing it.
Okay, great. I'll start with the topographic survey. This is the existing structure and the currently detached garage. Our addition will expand past the back of the original garage, not quite as far as the carport of the adjacent house, but it kind of occupies this portion of the yard. The house next door has this footprint in shade here, and the house to the north has a carport structure, and then the residence is quite a ways away from the subject property. Civil plan.
And actually, yeah, you can flip through.
We'll
Yeah,
flip, yeah.
I just
Civil
want
plans were
to, I just
provided.
want to just stop for a couple seconds on each.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Yeah, and that
Sure.
way we can kind of just make sure that we don't have questions or whatever.
Sure.
Because this is for final as well, so there's a lot of info, obviously, that's been kind of developed. So.
Yep, sure. Yeah. So I'm showing the demo plans, the existing plus the new addition. So there's a covered porch here, bonus room downstairs, and this is the street level. This has been opened up to be kind of a great room, and then the walls have been reconfigured. Oops,
Just flip through.
flip, literally, okay. Okay.
Yeah, just
Here we go.
give a couple of seconds on each, and then we're good. Yeah.
Okay, and it's photos.
Okay, yeah, great. Okay, all right, now to the other commissioners for questions as well. Questions, Commissioner Ansberg?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Could we just go to the color and materials, and could you run through that, the door and window colors? Are they exactly what you're showing there, or?
Nope. Well, let's see if I can zoom in here.
And it's also touchscreen, so you can do.
Oh, thank you. So it looks like we're proposing the steep cliff gray. So this image here is really for the division of the lights, not the color. And then same also the steep cliff gray on the door.
The front door, the garage door?
This is the front door.
Yes, yes, and then the garage door also?
Oops. Sorry.
That's okay.
I guess so. Let me see if I can do it with this. Yes, that'll
So
match.
everything would be that, that gray
Yep, that's
color.
correct.
All the doors and windows. And then, okay, great. And then also, there's a man door down at goes off to the right, at the base, just to the right of the
Right.
garage. Is that, what kind of door is that? Is that a V-groove door also, or is it a flat panel, or what exactly were you thinking there for that door? And I'm assuming it would also be gray?
Yeah, it would be gray, and I think of it as diminutive in presence, so I would think of it as a flat panel door.
Okay, I think, and there weren't any other, you've got a couple French doors, or a double from the garage out to the back, I think. Maybe we could look at that elevation for a second.
These are
To
sliding
be
doors.
sure we covered, yes, no, I mean, let's see, where did I see that? I guess I saw it on the plan. Maybe it's internal. No, it is from the garage out toward the pool.
Okay. This double door?
Yes.
Okay. What's your question?
Is that, what kind of doors are they?
I think it is a French door. Let me zoom in here. 18.
It was behind that arch, so it's kind of hard to see it there
Yeah.
because it's way back.
I think our intent was to do a French door there.
Okay. Okay, great. Those were my questions. Thank you.
All right. Other questions?
Oh,
Yeah, go for it.
one other. So the stucco color is white, or was that a color on your board too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
The stucco color is this La Habra Dove Gray, which is effectively an off-white.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Commissioner,
I have a question.
Commissioner Lembeck?
Explain the grading solution to me. And I'm trying to quickly go through here and see what's going on, but the retaining wall is all sandstone. Is that correct?
Let's get him to a page.
What sheet?
Well, go to your grading plan, sheet to C2.
Okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Well, the new wall is identified as being sandstone.
Is that a dash sort of zebra stripe thing?
Yeah. And what is the height of that wall?
Yeah. Top of wall looks like it's 3 feet.
3 feet, yeah, it's around 3 feet. It's a variable height because it's a slope site. So it comes out of the grade at a low grade and then increases to, it looks at the maximum height is 3 feet at that corner.
And then 1 foot here.
It says here that the site in that area which has been cut is down at 111, I guess? 110, 111? And the top of the wall is 114, so that's 3 feet.
Yeah, that's right.
And are you putting a new retaining wall at the building as well? I see a dash
Here.
line.
Just, yes, at this north wall of the addition.
Is that sandstone or is that a plaster wall?
It would be stucco.
Stucco,
It's integral to the building.
all right.
So the building's actually retaining the slope.
Okay. And the drainage then from the back of the wall area goes around the north side, the top side, and then down the west side and drops into a rock leveled spreader. And that water then just rolls out on your property or on the adjoining property as well?
It goes across the adjoining property. That's the historic flow of the water, and downhill properties are legally obligated to take the flow from uphill properties as long as you're not concentrating it to a point. So that's what the spreader's for.
And how does the water that's on the new pool pad area get out?
It is gonna flow downhill and towards the west, towards that spreader. The pool is just, it's a proposed pool at some point in the future. That's why we've got this wall creating that flat area there so that it can go in. Otherwise, it'd be much easier just to take drainage straight across this site than doing these retaining walls.
But where's that water gonna go?
It's gonna go to the bottom of this page and then continue across onto the adjacent property after going through that spreader.
Is the water going across the top of that southern wall?
I don't think it's gonna go up and across a wall, but you can certainly put little pieces of conduit in that wall that allow the water to go right under it.
Now, the question I raised when you were in here last time is how do you get in this yard to service the pool? And you're telling me now the pool will be in the future. How you can even be able to get in the yard to build the pool in the future? How are you gonna get equipment in there to haul out, 3,000 yards of dirt, concrete, plaster? How are you gonna get in that area?
Well, conveniently for us, the owner of this property owns the property next door, which has a driveway and a carport that goes all the way back here and provides access. So my understanding is that he would probably use his other property for that building access. And then as we discussed at the previous hearing, the pool servicing person can walk through the garage and out the doors to the garage. And the pool servicing person is most likely in this case going to be the owner of this house. So, but for the logistics question, it's possible for somebody to walk back there and service that pool. But yeah, constructing it obviously is a completely different issue, and he has that covered because he's got access over his property.
Today he does, maybe you won't own it tomorrow, is a problem.
Well, if he doesn't own it tomorrow, then somebody's not
Yeah.
gonna build a pool.
Well, or, and I don't want to get into the weeds on this, because, if they can't do it later, they can't do it, the plan still works. But also, I mean, I could see them take a crane and crane over a little.
It's not our concern anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to
I
go
don't want
down
it in the
too
weeds
far.
either.
Yes, it prevents challenges, and we have solutions, but
Yeah.
it's possible.
Otherwise, it's a blow-up pool.
Above ground.
And a rubber ducky. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
You're proposing painting the door gray, all the doors gray, the windows gray as well. Did I get that correct? And what was the thought behind that? Is it,
The original windows are approximately that color.
okay, so the color is original to the current state of the house.
That's
So
correct.
what you're really doing is replicating, okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? One question I asked, do you have, I don't think I saw it, but I could have missed it, a detail of the parapet wall, tile cap detail, and then also, do you have a detail of the little overhang for your little covered door overhangs?
No, what we provided for the tile cap was an image of what's there now, just that we will be matching that detail throughout. And no, I do not have a detail for the overhang.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And then another question I had was, could we go to the elevations? So, okay, perfect. Can you zoom into the, as this is one example, but I had this general question for a lot of the windows in the bedroom areas for egress. Can you zoom into the bottom elevation, the middle of it? Yeah, I think there's a bedroom right there.
Yes.
Are those casements, how did that work for, are those like double casements for egress? Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay. And then any other, I think that covers it for my questions. Any other questions from anyone else?
One other question.
Commissioner
that
Ensberg?
I just noticed when you were zooming in on those vents below the windows, are they, those are to the underspace, obviously, and are they any kind of special kind of, do you have like a special kind of a great, more of a historic kind of decorative?
Those are existing to remain.
Oh, they're all existing, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Great. All right, any other questions before going into comments? All right. All right, so let's roll into comments. This is for project design approval and final approval. And then it also has, and even if for project design approval, it still has compatibility findings, minor alterations findings, and minor zoning exception findings. And is there anything else that we need to consider on it? I think that was it, right?
No, but if you do decide to, thank you, Mr. Chair. If you do decide to continue the item without granting it project design approval, we would still request that you accept the memo by the architectural historian so they can be deemed exempt from CEQA.
Okay, gotcha. And even if we're gonna give it project design approval, we also still would do that?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
great. Okay, just make sure we have all of our,
Are those separate votes?
it
Are
could,
those separate votes?
No, you can grant project design and final all in one motion if you'd like.
okay. All right, great. So why don't we start with comments? Who wants to start first? How is everyone feeling about this, as well as how they answered our comments from last time? Anyone want to go? Does anyone want to jump in?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
looks good to me.
All right. All right, good. Commissioner Ansberg?
Yeah, I would just like to say, well, as always, thank you for all your work. And I'm really familiar with this house. I worked on the adjacent property. Plus, I used to live in this neighborhood. And this house was in very, very much disarray. And so I really am pleased to see this work. And I think you've done a really nice job. And it's very simple. It's a very simple structure and building, and I really think it's going to be very elegant, and I especially like the gray, actually. I think it's just going to be really stunning, and with the landscape and everything, so it's really going to bring it back, and I'm glad that you took such a, soft approach to it. I know you had to do a lot to bring it back, but I really appreciate it, and I fully support it, and would be happy to give it design approval and final approval with the exception findings and acceptance of the memo by the architectural historian whenever that time comes.
Great. All right. Commissioner Butler, anything? Or sorry, you already went, actually. Yeah, Commissioner.
I'm fine with it. If the fire department's fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Okay, great. Any other? Yep. Commissioner Lodge?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for undertaking what is a huge challenge. But it was brave of the owner to try to bring this house back to life. And I'm very appreciative, and I think the way you're doing it is very appropriate, and it'll be very nice when it's done.
All right. Any, Commissioner Lodge?
I'm still in the weeds.
You're still in the weeds? You're still trying to figure out that pool, how to dig it. and service it. Okay.
Can't be done.
Okay. That doesn't mean we can't approve it.
Huh?
It doesn't mean
No,
we
I
can't.
agree. I just hope the architect has thought about it. I mean, he talked about a driveway back there, but there's another garage in the way of directly opposite there where the pool is. Not gonna be able to get back there,
Okay.
so. But it's not his concern either.
Yeah. No, build a ramp,
Yeah.
jump it. Okay. Any other, sounding like where everyone's in agreement, that's comfortable for project design approval? Yeah.
Sorry, one clarification. The pool is a future thing. It's not even part of this, so.
Well, it's part of a planning approval, but then they can build it or not,
Or not.
whatever,
And if they need
for
to,
other
that's
stuff,
what
right?
cranes- They have cranes for that sort of
Yeah.
thing, too, so they really want to go crazy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's sounding like the motion, who wants to make a motion for project design approval and final approval when we make all the findings?
I will make that motion with all of the findings. Do you want me to?
Yeah, so I think they're gonna have to go through it.
Yes. Okay, yep. Okay.
Oh, yeah, so, sorry, we need a second. Commissioner Butler, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the project compatibility findings, this project is consistent with the design guidelines. It is compatible with the architectural character of the city and the neighborhood. It is the appropriate size, mass, bulk, height, and scale. It is sensitive to adjacent landmarks and historic resources. This is in the bungalow district, and it is it's an older, original home. Public views in mountains are not changed, and the use of the open space and landscape is appropriate. Minor alterations to historic resource findings. The exterior alterations are being made primarily for and will substantially advance restoration of the historic resource to its original appearance, and the alterations are consistent with the Secretary of Interior standards. Minor zoning exceptions findings. The following findings are required for a minor zoning exception within the purview of the design review body. The granting of such exception will not be detrimental to the use and enjoyment of the other properties in the neighborhood. True. The improvements are cited such that they will minimize impact next to abutting properties. Yes. The project generally complies with applicable privacy, landscaping, noise, and lighting standards in the Single-Family Design Board Good Neighbor Guidelines, and the improvements will be compatible with the existing development and character of the neighborhood. Except findings of Secretary of Interior's analysis. Let's see. Staff recommends HLC accept the architectural historian conclusion. The project meets the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation, and the project qualifies for a CEQA exemption, and the commission finds this acceptable.
All right,
Is that,
great.
is that it? Is there one more? Okay.
All right, oh, and did she have to accept the memo of the architectural historian? Okay.
That was that
yeah,
last one,
sorry,
I
I was in the middle of writing something
Yes.
down. Okay, great. So then now we have a motion and a second. So under discussion, I did have one part and I wanted to discuss as I was thinking it through. So my thought is the set is light on the details, especially the door and window wall condition details showing how everything's inset, the right amount, the bull nose, all those things. I think there's a way of making that note because you have photographs of the windows of the existing, and we can make a condition that it has to just match however you're going to get to that construction without showing us. But I do think that's going to be important. And then the other part is making sure the light divisions in the windows are simulated divided lights with a shadow bar in because sometimes people will do the plant on, which is bad, or put it on even the inside, which is even worse. So making sure that because there's no drawing to show that spec, so we can just read that into the motion or add it to the motion. So it would be one was for simulated divided lights with shadow bars included in all the doors and windows, and then the other was for windows and doors to be inset to match the depth of the existing historic windows and door inset from the plaster wall.
So the motion will also include the, I'm not sure, is simulated the right word to use, or a true divided light?
Well, so I think technically true divided light is when there's separate panes of glass.
Yes.
So it can be simulated as long as there's a shadow bar in between the panes of glass and there's the muntin on both sides. So there's basically a three-piece buildup, but usually we see that in the drawings, whereas we don't have that drawing. So as long as we read it into it, later they can check it, and if it wasn't built right, like we had a project that was on Chapala that wasn't built correctly, we went back and saw the detail. They had done it properly in the detail, but not constructed it properly, so they had to add stuff later. So anyways, but I think as long as we specify it and it gets on the record, they know what we're talking about, they can do it, and if for some reason it doesn't get built that way, we can always come back and say it was in the record as to be this way. So.
And I believe, well, I'll ask the secretary, did you capture the summary that the chair stated Perfect. So then,
Do you
yeah,
think
we don't
that-
need to
okay.
have you restate
And I
it,
think,
Commissioner Ensberg.
yes, thank you.
So if the maker of the motion and the seconder are
Yes,
okay with that.
and that the inset detail, the detail for the windows, the window to the wall detail, inset, and everything else about it matches the original existing.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And then,
All right, so yes, and
and
then,
the maker of the motion and the seconder both agree to those additional two things?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
yes, and thank you for catching that.
Yeah. No worries.
Oh, and do you want to also say that for the cap on the parapet?
Yes, that's a good point, and for that to match the image that was provided. And so however that waterproofing works and whatever you do, and just make it look like the image. Okay, great. Any other discussion? All right, let's have a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes?
Commissioner Lenvik,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, good, congratulations.
you.
All right, and this action is appealable to City Council within 10 days, all right? All right, next up, we have item 2, 321 East Islay. This is designated a structure of merit constructed in 1914 in the American colonial revival style. Let's see, sorry. Proposal for a new detached ADU with attached two-car garage and storage area for a total of 1,600 square feet. Project includes a new pool and spa, 110 square feet pool, hut, trellis, barbecue area, 6-foot tall wood fence, front garden wall and sidewalk with wrought iron fencing, driveway gate, mechanical equipment, and retaining wall, hardscape and landscape alterations, removal of 11 trees, and demolition of the existing two-car garage. The project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review under, for the CEQA Quality, Environmental Quality Act guidelines. All right, final approval is requested. Project requires substantial conformance to the plans granted. Project design approval by the full commission July 16th, 2025. There was historic significance report. And then with that, if you, yep.
Yeah, I have little involvement here, so I'm going to bow out.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so,
Thank you for having us. My name is Paul Zink. I'm the architect for the project. With me is MJ Mary J., and she's a client, and the landscape architect Billy Goodnick.
okay, great, welcome. So let's go through what our comments were from last time, and then.
Pardon my
Steph.
quick interruption,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Staff has a brief announcement just to remind the commission that there are two projects that you've been reviewing at this property. At the last consent hearing, the addition to the main residence received project design approval. This is the ADU and site work that is returning for final approval. So I just wanted to make that clarification. And then here are the minutes from the last, from the project design approval hearing.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so I'll read through the minutes, and then you can walk us through the project to show us how you answered the comments and any other new things to see for final. All right, so the motion was for project design approval with the following comments and findings. One, the commission thanks the applicant for their study and continued development of the design and thinks it is going in a great direction. 2, study the garage elevation, focusing on the garage door design. 3, consider turning the garage roof hip into a front-facing gable instead. 4, review historic examples of period-appropriate hipped roof details and overhang eave conditions in the intended design era and bring examples for the commission. 5, adjust the dormer pitch on the roof of the garage so it doesn't hit the peak of the roof and include more vertical glazing. 6, most commissioners are in support of using a decorative chimney on the garage roof, but encourage moving it to one side of the gable and away from the dormer, as it should not be symmetrical along the ridge. Compare to existing dormer on the roof of the main house for inspiration. 7, reincorporate the existing ribbon driveway design up to the rollaway gate. 8, the rollaway gate should be detailed in a more historically appropriate way. 9, hardscape plan needs to be included at next review. 10, the commission recommends looking at simplification of material types, design, shapes, and layout. 11, some commission feel that there should be a hedge in front of the wall while others think the current design is acceptable. 12, study using inert materials in the ribbon driveway rather than grass. 13, the project compatibility findings generally have been met. Let's see, blah, blah. Yeah, and then the motion was by Uli, second was by Butler, 7-0-0. Drury and McClure were absent. The motion carried. All right, and so Drury is not here, and McClure is still absent, or absent again. Okay, and so with that, if you would kind of take us through and answer all those points.
So here's a Revit 3D model of the project. What I wanted to point out is we are saving the shutters, as was discussed before. In Revit, I'm not really great at all the wallpapering stuff that you put on the model, so that when you look at the stone on this it looks like gravel. It is actually going to be cut stone, and I'll show you a different detail later. And then when you move over to here, the shutters look very pink. They're not supposed to be pink, and I don't understand why. In one image it was, and one it's not. But what I wanted to show you in this picture, this 3D shot, is the relationship of the ADU and the garage in relationship to the street, as well as to the existing house. The fence that's in there, I have details for it. I took the rolling gate, and it's 12 feet wide and divided into thirds. It's a metal frame, and it'll have wrapped with wood siding. The gate, the rolling gate, is 53 feet from the back of the sidewalk. The actual ADU itself is 181 feet back. And then for the garage door, I changed the window arrangement, so I have windows only on the taller garage door and not on the shorter garage door. The shorter garage door is smaller because I couldn't increase the plate height along that side property line because it's existing non-conforming. What's important for me to point out is, now that you know that we have an addition that we're planning on doing to the main residence, the question was whether or not to put a gable end to the garage. For me, while I was designing this, I always wanted to open up the space between the main house and the garage as much as possible, and having a gable end here felt like me it would be closing it in too much. So it was important for me to have that hip roof where the larger garage door and with the taller head height at that location. So that's why I maintained the hip end there, but I have the gable. The original garage is a gable for the single car garage. And then when you look at the roof, what's important now is I did simplify the roof over the garage, and I got rid of that strange collision that was happening in there. And I used to have a gable end between the garage and the ADU itself. I turned that into a hip. And so you can tell right now from the bird's eye view of the roof how everything is simple moving in there. It was a great idea, a great suggestion to offset the chimney to one side of the ridge. I appreciate the comment, and I incorporated that in the plans. So the next thing I want to do is go to some of the details on this next sheet. Make this a little smaller. I'll later go over the flat work stuff, but what I wanted to say is briefly, there are 3 types of flat work material we have. One of them is going to be an impervious brick. That's going to be the front walk, which is going to match this picture, which is a diagonal running bond with the square in the middle. I got the pictures of it. It's going to be these bricks will be placed on top of a concrete sidewalk. It'll match existing 6 foot wide. The second type of hardscape we will have is going to be the herringbone brick pavers, which have the little 3/8" gap. Some of them will be for driveways. Some of them will be impervious for technical reasons, but it's the same brick paver everywhere. And if you can tell in this larger picture, the patterns that happen. There's a border that happens around it. When we are around the driveway and motor court area, we'll have a poured concrete. It'll be a colored concrete. And when we're on the open field or on sidewalks and things, we can have just the regular brick with a metal edge banding. Then I wanted to show you the actual detailing for the stone wall. This is what we would like, not what was on the Revit picture, but it's going to be real Santa Barbara stone, cut stone, large block with a true block top. It's going to be wrought iron fencing. The fencing is the second rail back. It was our intention to have kind of the front walk is kind of like hello to the public, and then between the wrought iron fence and the house itself is where the dogs can be, and then we didn't have to worry about the dogs getting too close to the sidewalks for liability issues and concerned issues. I mean, the dogs can have their play zone, and we have an openness, and we, the client, want to have an open home to the front sidewalk, so when people walk by, they can see the house. And then for the rolling gate design, it's hard to tell in this picture, but they're it's hard to tell in this picture. There's, in the third points, there's going to be the piece of wood. It's a 2x4 installed instead of a 1x4 to pop out the edge to create panels along that metal frame. And the frame is a 2x6 tube steel with diagonals in there, and then the wood casing around it. So that's the first part I wanted to run past. Now, how did I lose it? Here we go. There's been no changes to the site plan. Photographs, if you want me to go through, I can if you want. Existing photos, existing house. Our stormwater management takes care of the entire site, and so when we were dealing with all of our, where to put all the water, we designed it for the main house expansion that we have for the kitchen and the master bedroom. So that's why this plan shows the location of the additions that are happening, as well as the pool hut and stuff. But when you get to our site plan, it's not shown there, and so that blank space between the existing house and that sidewalk is a different building permit that's going to be filled in there. And staff sometimes gets upset when I show a dotted line and say future addition, because they always have me erase it because I can't show that. But we all know I'm in the process of building an addition that will fill in that zone. On this plan, you can see that there are just 3 different types of paving material: the impervious brick sidewalk in the front, the permeable brick, and then I have flagstone around the fire pit. I'll pause for a moment. There's been 0 site plan changes on the project. And that, I showed that to you. Floor plan, I want to get to the exterior elevations next. This is probably the most important drawing. This is, the top is the view towards the pool area, and the bottom view is the view towards the property line. What I want to show you is the garage. We're rebuilding the garage in its existing location, so that elevation was set. And at the end of the ADU, where the bedroom is 3 feet. The dirt is 3 feet higher. So the site slopes. I have a retaining wall in the back of the property, so we hunker our building down into the grade, which is why there's that stair step of the side of the concrete footings that happen along that way. Then this is the view of the garage, the view that would be seen by the street, and then the other view is the view that's towards the rear property line, and the building materials. And then light fixtures, go back. Bottom of the sheet, we have the hanging lanterns that'll be at the trellis area. We have surface-mounted fixtures that are going to be under the covered patio, and then we have the lanterns that'll be at the exterior doors. And then where the air conditioner is, it's behind a wooden fence. And probably the most important thing to mention is the siding that we plan on using is the Artisan Series. Oops. Where'd it go? One more. Be very slow. There it is. It is 5/8 inch thick, and we are allowed, because of its thickness, we can do a true mitered corner. And I've talked about this before. This has always been our case, and that's what we like. The thickness of the wood siding horizontally coming together. So that's what we plan on doing still. Sections I won't go through. There's one thing I want to point out on the door and window schedule. Oops, a little slower. I only researched this because I was sitting in the office, or sitting in the audience, and item number 11 is all new windows with 7/8 wide simulated mullions as shown. So we plan on doing simulated mullions. So it's noted. And then for the detailing, I didn't show you the reflected ceiling plan, which also shows the rafter tails, and hopefully you noticed it in the exterior elevation. We'll have the chunky tails at 24 inches on center. They're 4x6s and are framing underneath it. The top view is the gable end that happens at the garage, and what's important is to show the direction of the 1x starter board that's underneath it is actually perpendicular to the building and not running parallel with the building. So for me, that's important, and I have it noted that way. And then this is at our 0 lot line condition. It's a zero lot line condition. And at the bottom, the base, it kicks out, and then there'll be a baseboard at the transition where the concrete is, and then where the concrete is, there'll be a color coat on top of that. What I wanted to show you on this side, that's with the retaining wall area, and then our fake chimney. Faux chimney is identical to the faux chimney that we have on the main house. Then the next detail sheet is the door and window stuff. I have the covered patio, the way the chunky beam is going to be underneath, and it's broken up in the reflected ceiling plan into bays and with the beadboard. And then the way the head is for the windows, I've got the thick siding. We'll have a board, we'll have flashing, and then the window sits underneath it. We are planning on going with all wood windows, or aluminum-clad windows in this house. Aluminum-clad windows with the simulated mullions. So those are the details for the windows. And that's all that I have. I can go over the landscape plan if you're interested, but there have been no changes on that as well. And then we've got the structural in addition to that. So here's the landscape plan. If you have any questions other than that, I'll turn it back to you folks. I addressed all the items that were on the minutes.
All right, great. And then did you cover what your material, I can't remember, what your materials, color palette, that kind of stuff? Because this is for final, right?
I didn't, but it's on that plan.
Yeah.
If you remember looking at the 3D images, the house itself, the original main house, has a yellow tone to it. Let's call it cream, not yellow. And then the ADU will be in white. And so that's what we plan on doing. Right here.
Great.
No, sorry, I won't do much. There we go. There's the artisan asphalt shingle roof, gutters, trim, brick, pavers. And then we have a flat roof, which is going to be the single ply roof, and then the plaster coat.
And what is that material? For the flat roof?
The rubberized roof, it's just going to be where the flat roof is. It's the single ply rubber roof.
And color?
It's going to be white. It's right here. I did have it.
All right. All right. Great.
Okay.
Does that complete your presentation?
That completes my presentation.
Okay.
It actually says light gray. It's not white.
Okay. Oh, perfect. There it is. Okay, great. Okay, and let's now go to public comment. Any member of the public wishing to comment on this item?
Thank you. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment, though again, if anyone would like to speak, you can approach the podium at this time. But I'm not seeing any movement, so I will move. Never mind, nobody's online anymore. We don't have any participants online with us, and we did not receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'm going to give it back to you.
All right, to the commission for any questions. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yep, Commissioner Levick.
Retaining wall again. The retaining wall back at the pool spa area,
Yes.
that's sandstone as well.
Can we go to the site plan or wherever?
Well, I'm looking at S.2.
I have two details. I have one at the swimming pool area. It's
Yeah.
stacked rubble stone, so it's going to be at a slight banter. It's more natural. Whereas at the sidewalk, I have it against the CMU block wall also, but it's straight up and down.
Ashler, yeah.
And how do you, and are you showing that anywhere? I know you had a picture of the ashlar wall, but are you delineating that in any way?
For this stone, no, I don't have this. This is just the site stones in the back and the rear, like he said, around the swimming pool,
Okay.
where I thought that'd be more organically rubble
And in the
rock.
front area you have it called out with the image?
Yes.
Okay, great.
That'll be a 6-foot-high wall.
No. No. Nothing greater than 29 and a half.
Where are you looking?
Well, I'm trying to find it now. I thought that the,
Coming off the spa or between the pool and the house?
If it's the front wall by the sidewalk, it is that tall, like he's saying, because
when I look at
This one.
C-103,
C-103.
C-103,
okay.
that the back, I guess I'd call it the northwest corner, top of wall 206,
All right, let's get
And
there. Let's get there first.
the deck is right around 200, elevation 200?
Here we go. So, are we at the?
Almost.
which number?
Yeah, right there.
Okay,
So go over there.
sorry.
So there is this top of wall 206.7,
Where is that? Where?
right there.
Okay.
And,
top
and
left corner or whatever.
right, and the deck down here, I think it's around 200 or something. I don't see the elevation on it, but
If you look above the word permeable pavers 2, top of wall is 205.
Yeah.
That wall is not supposed to exceed 30 inches. And that's because I don't want to have a guardrail there. So whatever he has is not correct. I see the 206.7 and I see the 205. And our deck line is probably at 205. It should be 203. I mean, that wall is going to be a 30-inch high wall because I don't want it to have any. So I did not catch that in that.
Okay.
And he didn't bring it to my attention that we're going to have it taller, so we would have to lay back a little bit more of the dirt. That wall is 10 feet from the property line, so the issue of regrading that won't be an issue. I have enough ample space in that 10-foot zone.
okay. I guess the rubble round boulder wall is kind of out of character with the architecture.
It already exists on the property. If you remember in the photographs, there was 2 semicircle arches, and then the neighbors showed pictures of piles of rock, and where did that all came from? Well, that came from our site because we moved that semicircle arch. And so the rocks are already there, and we plan on reusing them
Okay.
in an organic way, arrangement from our landscape architect.
Yeah, it feels like we're going from civilization, so to speak, going from civilization immediately around the house, and when we have an elevation change, it feels like the whole character of the backyard can change there. So doing a more rustic or organically conceived wall, I think, is the way to go.
And how are you going to build that swimming pool? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not, I don't.
That's
care.
January's problem.
Yeah, I don't, there's a long driveway. I'm not sure whose that driveway belongs to on the north.
Correct?
And it runs back to the original old house of
Correct? The Lockwood DeForest?
DeForest, right. And I don't know if there's a round rubber wall on the DeForest property or not, but we're going to have one here.
Well,
Right.
there is an original wall, that the semicircle arch that was already there on the property.
It's quite low.
Yeah.
I'll show, and it's less than 30 inches too.
Yeah.
You're right.
I have no questions.
There's part of it, there was a built-in stone bench, and I was saving the large stones in a particular location. That happened.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
Just one other question. There was a mention in the minutes about reincorporating the existing Ribbon Drive.
Correct, and we did study that, and where we were getting into conflict is when the ribbon driving ran into where the rolling gate was. And it just looked odd, and it was frustrating in the design pattern of what to do there and to put planting in there, and we said, no, we'll make it all one same material. And at the end, it was just to keep it simple. It's a 12-foot wide driveway. It's not like we're doing a 19 or 18-foot wide driveway all the way up. We have a single-car driveway. And so we were going back to the idea of simplifying our plan, and just, we eliminated that.
That was good. I forgot about that. Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Okay, we're looking at, let's look at that picture, the existing driveway, going back, just looking, no. That one. Just looking at that, keep that in your mind. Now, let's go to your rendering that you showed us that showed the new condition with the gate, the rolling gate.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, yeah, that one. So that's the That's the new, and we remember the old. So you're saying that you couldn't do the ribbon because, can you just describe again why you could not do the
It was
ribbon?
looking too busy, and it's 12 foot wide, and it was running into a solid wall. When the gate is closed, the gate is closed, and the ribbon driveway was these two lines going straight in, and it just looked odd. I did draw it, and I kept on staring at it, and the color differentiations between the two, and it's just like, it was frustrating because it wasn't a clean line, because once I go through, the gate's open, how do I take that line, and then I go into a solid field, because now I have two doors. And then think of like in railroad tracks where you have to go and curve this direction to get into this car, or you go this way to get into this car. So on the other side of the rolling gate, I was planning on having a solid field. So the ribbon driveway was only in front of the rolling gate, but what does it look like when the rolling gate is open? And so it was those conflicts that couldn't get resolved in my head to a way that I was like, I'm enjoying this, and it's just like I am finding something wrong with this, and it was arguing in my head. So I said, I'm trying to force it too much.
I hate that when that happens.
Show us a
So-
plan where the gate is located.
Well, before you go on, could we just,
Yeah,
one
pardon me, I
second?
didn't
Yeah,
mean
no,
to
that's okay.
interrupt.
No, it's all right. So the other, of course, the other issue is that you've got this big wall that wasn't there before. So, and I know we talked about this before, about possibly having that be more transparent. And I understand that you want to have, I think your answer was that we want privacy back there. So we want this big wall so that no one can see back there. I think that's what you said, but maybe I didn't get that right.
You were correct about the privacy, and what my 3D images don't show is the landscaping that's in front. And there'll be landscaping on the part between the driveway and the house.
True.
So yeah, you see the fence there, but there'll be color and variation in height. On the other side of that fence is my trash enclosure, it's the utility stuff.
There can also be combination, of course, as you know. You can do solid and you can do, wrought iron. You could do both. That's another way it could possibly be done, to have a place to, but anyway, that's a comment.
Yeah.
These are questions. These are questions. Isn't it true?
We don't want to get in the weeds here.
Yeah, no, I know. But no, this is our last, you're asking for final, so I'm wanting to be sure that we talk about some of these things that we've had discussions about and concerns about. So the other question is, why are you thinking, you have the roof matches. I think both of the roofs it's asphalt shingle and it matches the main house, the ADU matches the main house, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, but you're choosing to do white on the back and then you have this cream color on the front. Why were you thinking that?
Just to set a little bit of a difference. That's all it is. It's a different era that the house was built in. It's just not the same main house. The main house has its own different characteristics. Later, we might even come in front of you and ask to paint the main house white, the same color we're painting the ADU. That's to be discussed at another time. Right now, we're not changing the color of the original house. But for the ADU in the rear, I'm choosing to make it a slightly different color. It'll be harmonious. It's not 100% carbon copy.
And then, okay, so then my last question, and maybe you can zoom in on that. The picture that you had that showed the opening between the two.
Yes?
So you're choosing to have a different style of roof. This has got a fascia board. It doesn't have the exposed rafter tails like we see on the main house. Can you explain why you were choosing to go that direction as opposed to more matching of the existing house?
On the 3D image, I did not draw the rafter tails because I have to draw each one individually, and I don't have that kind of patience.
You didn't want to, yeah.
I didn't want to, and I didn't want to charge them by the hour for each one that I inserted in there.
So you're explaining to me now that
The actual ADU does have 4x6 rafter tails, and I'll go to that after I go to the site plan where you can.
I see where,
And gutter.
And gutter, and it's on the detail. I have the chunkiness happening.
So
just
what
not
I,
the
so I'm
render-
not
the
seeing it
rendering's
here,
just
but
not
they
fully
are really
accurate.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
this other rendering has, the main house has it, the ADU will have chunky tails.
Or
That's
just,
a very technical term.
okay, rafter tails that,
Rafter tails,
But they're specified in the details.
Yeah.
so-
4x6 is at 24
no,
inches
but I'm
on
trying to
center.
understand and how it relates to the
So
main
what's-
house.
what
Because
we're
we have
actually
this
seeing.
historic house and we want to respect the historic house, right?
And I'm respecting it because I'm using a similar tails. The original tails are 3x6s. I'm not going to go and take that, but I'm going with a 4x6, and I have the angled cut. And then the original house is at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to be at a 6 and 12, not a 12 and 12. So that's slightly different as well.
And if the
All right.
original house was a 3x6, it's a true 3x6,
And
which
I'm
means
3
that
and a half.
you're slightly, which is actually a nice kind of differentiator too.
Okay, those are my
Okay,
questions.
any Commissioner
I'm
Lendig,
happy now.
you're good?
Can we
Okay.
go to his site plan or do that later?
I think he's happy, so let's just leave
Never
him
mind.
happy. All right, any other questions? And then we'll get to comments, and then we'll see. Okay, oh, yeah, Commissioner Lodge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Did I hear you correctly to say that the chimney on the ADU is a faux chimney?
Yes, it is.
Like the chimney on the original house, that one is faux also?
No, the original house has a metal flue. We took down the unreinforced masonry chimney and replaced it with a metal flue. And then when we took it up, we wrapped the original chimney with stone veneer. The original chimney was a plaster box. And so it was, we wanted to go with the brick, and then we took that same brick look and we put that on the ADU. But at the ADU, I do have a fireplace, but now I can't have gas burning, wood burning stuff. So we have an electric blah, blah, blah kind of fireplace and a fake chimney.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and chunky. Chunky tails. All right, let's go into comments now. So this is before us for final approval. And it has to be in substantial conformance with our approved plans from July. And so the question to everyone is, are we seeing it approvable, or is there something else that is needed? Or and are we accepting the revisions as submitted?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
I just have 2 comments.
Okay.
I feel that the loss of the ribbon drive and the white addition versus the same color of the house, the main house, in combination sort of reduce or take away from the historic nature of the property. I really think that it's a 1914 beautiful old home, and suddenly you've got this solid, massive driveway where the ribbon was characteristic of the time and the era, et cetera. Without going any further, I just feel that the ribbon drive maintains the more of the historical nature of the house, and I would much prefer that the exterior colors match of both the new and the existing building. I just think it's more historic.
Along that, let's just talk about the color for a second. And then we can also talk about ribbon drive as separate things, but I think that could be good discussion here. Can you go to the front perspective? Because I do think, so one of the things that stood out for me is, what about just matching the wood gate and the rollaway gate and fence with the main house as opposed to the white? Part of it, what is disturbing to me is visually is the white gate, front gate matches the back house, but it's attached to the front house. And so I know it's going to be screened with, at least the fence portion will be screened with plantings, and that's fine. But even just the fact of matching the thing that is not actually attached to might be something, I don't know, what does everyone feel about that in terms of if that became the yellow or just matches the house, at least visually, it kind of starts to go away a little bit more than.
I agree, yeah.
Yes, Chair,
agree.
could I add to
Or
that
even
too?
a darker color.
Or even darker color, yeah.
I think that would really go a long way to helping, and it just popped into my mind that maybe the other thing that you could do is actually make that little garage also be the same as the house. So that is part of the house, and then the ADU is the thing in back of it, and that potentially could be white. But if all of that became more the cream color to match the older house, I would be more comfortable with it, but I really am having trouble with this white. I agree with Commissioner Butler.
So, and I would get into, I would disagree with mix and matching the actual piece, even though there are 2 pieces of like obviously the original little carriage or carriage house or whatever, or garage, and then this other thing. I would recommend not actually trying to change them up with those, if I'm understanding you right? You could
I'm
do-
saying, I'm agreeing with you about the gate.
Mm-hmm.
That is just too, and I would probably prefer to just see the whole thing be the same color as the house, as Commissioner Butler said. I think that's probably the best solution.
It might be
But
because
I'm intrigued by the idea of being a little bit more quirky about it and maybe doing the little, the little garage as though it was the original garage and that it's painted that color, and then possibly the white could be okay in the back. But I think this whole color thing needs to be worked out and studied further.
Yeah,
I'm really not comfortable with it in the white.
And I think part of what everyone's reacting to, and maybe and what I think as well, is the white is, because it's brighter, it's jumping forward, and it's sort of drawing attention to the back. If the main house was white, we might be fine with the other being cream or whatever, but I think part of it is the back house is jumping forward as the brighter, more important one, at least visually in this. Now, in reality, it might not be as strong, but I think that's at least a strong punch. So, okay, so color aside for now, and it might be something that we can give either final approval with working with Nicole on using the historic color palettes and choosing different colors for the back house, or some other variation on it so we can kind of move them forward, as long as everyone's in agreement with that. But then the other piece is, let's talk about the ribbon driveway, and whether, and I appreciate the struggle. The struggle is real. So it is a problematic design question, right? Because typically for the ribbon driveways, you do see them go and end in a garage, and it makes sense, and it's all's right in the world. But it is tricky when there's this intervening piece, right? And so whether you had it go and stop right, a foot or two before and end it that way, or go past it and then end it and let it go into a field of something else, there's always going to be something odd about it. And so it seems like that's the question. And then, so the first part is there another solution that everyone agrees on and that also can be offered to the owner and architect as a possible agreeable solution, or is everyone going to have different, or is this supportable? Or is this supportable?
Chair,
Yeah.
could I ask, why is the driveway this wide?
It's 12 feet wide, that's the existing, no, the existing width I think is 10. I went with 12 just because if you park a car there and you open the doors and you want to be able to walk on each side. Otherwise, if you have a 10-foot thing, you park your car and before you know it, you're walking on the landscaping. So that's why the 12-foot was established. And then you zoom it all the way down. Eventually, I get to a 2-car garage. It's a single-car driveway to a point that has to feed a double car.
Yeah, no, we understand that, or I understand that. But I'm just wondering, it just
It
seems
had to
like
be
it's
for
sort of
the planting.
incrementally getting bigger and bigger, and it's just feeling kind of like a parking lot. And it's such a drastic departure from the ribbon. We've gotten so far away. And, back in the old days, or, not that long ago, if you opened your door and you got out, you don't have to be on concrete. You could be on whatever that surface material happened to be, if it was gravel or part of the landscape, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just one thing I would point out, we're looking at a rendering here that shows no plant material.
No, I know.
I think that very much exaggerates how wide the driveway looks, but.
And actually, can we flip to the landscape plan real fast, just so we're clear on what actually is there? It's part of the trouble you get into with renderings is, if you don't render it super detailed, then it looks like whatever it is that is, the model is, it takes a lot to render it that
We could all
fully.
wear.
VR goggles, there we go, we can walk around.
I quit.
Your license.
All right, we're used to this. You're doing fine.
Okay. No, I quit about having to use VR goggles to tell
There
what's
you
happening
go.
going on.
So the plant material closest to the street, there's 23 of them. That's for cotoneaster, which is like a holly type of berry on small leaves, and it mounds up anywhere from 1.5 feet to 2 feet high. So a lot of that plane disappears as we get past to where the walkway is that comes back into the front yard. That's bigger plant material. The one larger circle is a small tree. It's the native toyon. And circling around it, dietes is a tall, grassy type of plant with like an iris-type flower on it. So a lot of, especially the background, you're not going to know that fence is there at all. So we're really talking about when you're lined up on the axis of the driveway, looking up, how wide does it look? Otherwise, you're kind of moving through the landscape. But, so really, what does 12 feet look like versus what we're seeing on the rendering?
Okay. Great. All right, Commissioner Butler?
So, since I raised the point, again, I think it removes the historical feeling and sense of the house. It is not necessary, in my view, to carry the ribbon drive beyond the gate. So if you need, once, because the gate's going to be closed most of the time, I assume anyway, right? But maintaining at least some portion of that ribbon drive, because that's a historic characteristic of the house and the house period, of that period. So, I mean, I understand the concern, but, and the gate's going to be closed. So beyond the gate, fill it in. To me, that's less of an issue. But I do think in the visibility from the street, having that ribbon drive there, again, it maintains the historical sense and feel and period of the house. That's all.
I guess I have another question on that. So currently, the proposed driveway is all brick?
Yes.
And is it permeable or?
It's permeable, yes.
Okay. A permeable brick in a what pattern?
That would be in the herringbone.
Okay. All right. And is it the gap?
The 3/8 gap.
Okay. All right. So, okay, so I think these are any other sticking points besides the color and the?
I want to make one comment. The architect mentioned the possibility of changing, maybe in the future, changing the color of the main house. I would certainly discourage bringing that into us. That house, I think that house stands out now as a great example of an architect's interest in the design and the color and whatever of the house, and the original architect. And I would really be opposed to changing that color, that cream color, and the awning color.
But either way, it's not before us right now.
No, it's not, but I just,
So let's,
yeah.
but, and, yeah, so let's treat it with, what we can for it. Is there any, so besides the color discussion and the ribbon driveway discussion, is there any other sticking points that we need to cover, Commissioner Jordan?
A couple of comments. First comment, I'm very supportive of the project. I think it's going in the right direction. Second comment, I'm concerned, I don't think your drawings are doing you a favor, particularly the Revit stuff. There's too much color shift when you go from one image to another. And in the previous meeting, we talked about what parts of the drive, what parts of the paving were permeable versus impermeable. And when I look at this set of drawings, again, it's not always clear to me from the drawings which is where. So I don't think the drawings are necessarily helping. On the ribbon drive, the ribbon drive seems to be period to the house and to the neighborhood. Security gate's a modern addition. So we have this design problem of the clash of modernity or modern security concerns with the traditional feel. I tend to agree with my fellow commissioner that the ribbon drive is important. How that ribbon drive is resolved when it meets that modern security gate is a design problem for you to figure out. But I do think that at least initially, we need to see some of that ribbon drive. Also, again, to go back to the Revit drawings, the Revit drawing that shows that driveway really doesn't make it look good. is my comment about the drawings. In terms of the color palette, the white for the security gate is very intrusive, very calls attention to itself. So I think there are some shifts in the color palette that could go a long way to reducing our concerns. But again, to go back to my first comment, I'm supportive of the project. I think it's headed in the right direction.
Okay, so, okay, yep, Commissioner Lodge?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I share Commissioner Butler's concern about, somebody used the word, it looks very modern, it's not something that would be with that house. It's not of the time of the house, and I think maybe if you were to take, like to echo the columns that are in the front of the house, by the front door, on either side of the gate itself, and then I think just quickly comment on the color, I think it should be the same as the house, whatever it is. It would tie in better. But otherwise, I think it's a good project.
So I just, sorry, make sure I'm understanding your comment, to basically have like two piers on either side of where the rollaway gate is. Is that what you're saying, on either side of the rollaway
Yeah,
gate?
the columns that are,
Yeah,
like the columns that are on the front.
front of the ADU?
No,
or
no,
porch?
no, the house.
Okay, let's see.
The original house,
Yeah.
if I'm remembering them correctly.
She's thinking of the round columns that are in front of the house and to have. At the front porch, to have that. And what I do have is I have 6x6 wooden posts at each end of the gate that the rollaway is in front of. So I do have an anchor, and I can show you that detail. But let me first. She's talking about like these.
Oh,
round-
gotcha, okay.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
So basically, we'd probably be doing square piers, right? Do sort of square piers in the same,
Well, I currently have square piers shown, but they're just. 'cause
they're
it's
just
metal.
they're just not as big.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
6x6.
The round,
These are round columns here. I don't have a problem painting it the same color, the hue, because it ties into the house, and then having that breakup between what was happening beyond it and where it ties into the house, that cream color for the fence. That's something completely acceptable. If the ribbon driveway is a deal color, then we'll have to come back with a ribbon driveway solution, but we did study it and we decided we didn't want to go that direction, but if I don't have enough votes today for it, then I have to come back with a solution and show you. But that was not our intention, is to break that up with the ribbon, because the part where it was getting confusing last time between what was impervious and what was permeable was confusing because of all the different colors, but it's the same paving material. It's the underneath that matters, because whether it's 16 inches of gravel or whether it's going to be, I don't want water to get near the footings of the house. So it was a stormwater management thing that made it look all complicated, but it's the same brick paver everywhere with a little 3-inch gap. So that's.
And is there a way of doing that with like either, I guess the thing has to be permeable, so either gravel or some other permeable material on either sides in the middle?
Well, that's why I have the flagstone that's around the fire pit area, because then I have myself my 2-inch gaps, and I can
Okay.
fill that with gravel or growies or stuff. And then the bigger the flagstone piece is, the bigger the joints appear. That I do have in a more casual, but where I have actual walkways, currently I don't have flagstone walkways.
Okay, so I think the long and okay, well, let's just check, see, from the commission, who can find this current solution acceptable versus the two options are the current solution's okay for the ribbon driveway, let's do a straw poll, versus I want to see a version of a ribbon driveway as part of this design, at least for the front portion. So let's start with the first, who can find this current as designed acceptable for the driveway? Anyone?
I do.
One? Okay. And two, then who wants to see a ribbon driveway version? Yep, okay, me as well, so, okay. so
Mr. Chair,
Yep,
just to support the point, we brought that up in the previous meeting.
We studied it.
That, even back then, we had interest in having the ribbon drive be part of and remain part of the house. So it's not something that came up today, regardless of the renderings, et cetera. Okay.
yeah. We only want to be known as mean when we're really, really mean.
Well, and Chair, if I could add to, I think which has been said, it doesn't have to go all the way through, just up to the gate. And I think that's what's important, is the historical look from the front, from the street. And I think it's really, really important. And then the other part would be the gate, which you're going to get to in a minute. But the gate also, I mean, I think that Commissioner Lodge has brought up a very interesting possibility to just make that gate, just do a few, design it a little bit and make a few tweaks to it to make it feel more like it is part of the original house than just this sort of thing that kind of happened recently. Even the color will help, but I think a little bit more detailing on it to make it feel a little bit more historic will really help. And then the ribbon goes up to it. And then beyond that, you can have your big driveway back there.
And I want to add a little bit more in terms of idea and direction as well, or clarity. So it is, in my mind, the ribbon could be, for example, and this is just one version, could be concrete strips, and maybe it's permeable concrete or not, and then permeable brick pavers on the inside and outside, because it still has a ribbon look, but without grass or without whatever. But it still has this two strips of concrete as remembering the ribbon, whether the other infill stuff solves or whether there's gravel or whatever other solution is needed. The concept is having clear a memory, at least, of the ribbon, and whether or not the exact materials might be one thing or another. With obviously the concrete strips being the sort of primary visual cue of the houses of this era and this type of a drive.
Can we look at that picture of the ribbon again, the original?
Yeah.
Just there.
Because
That has concrete in the middle.
that has concrete in the middle and has, but what if this was actually original? It might be that the red portions were, and then the.
If you don't mind, she's got something to add about the garage and the driveway.
Yeah, I need to pull up some notes on this, but based on the permits that were pulled for the garage was built after Winsor lived there. He only lived there until about 1925. He got caught up in an affair with a neighbor and moved out. So he was there from 1914 until 25. And then I believe the first garage permit was pulled by Lockwood in 26. And that was like a 12-foot wide garage, and then they added, I think, 6 feet to it in like 29 or so.
Okay.
It was right before it changed ownership to Mrs. Hatch, who was the second owner. So the driveway, if it went in at the same time as the garage, then it probably went in around like late 20s.
Okay, yeah. And what I'm trying to figure out from here is sometimes the inner portion, the inner strip, is of different materials, and then later gets filled in or not, or vice versa. Sometimes things get torn out at different times. So it looks kind of like the two strips, the reddish strips, are the original, or at least were in the original footprint. And if something of that memory maintains, and whether maybe that's brick and the other part's gravel or whatever, I don't know, or some other combination. I'm sensitive both to the stormwater management side of things and trying to solve that, but also to having at least a visual cue of a ribbon driveway, even if it's done a little bit differently. And I'm wondering if the other commissioners are feeling that, or whether they're wanting it to really be as, extreme, authentic as possible in terms of materiality and things like that. So does anyone want to weigh in on that? Oh, sure.
Could I make things more complicated? Sure. Where that Eugenia hedge is along the left side of it, its root system is taking up all of that. I don't have X-ray vision, but we can know just horticulturally that the root system probably comes up to at least that the left edge of the driveway. So excavating that down enough to put some other material in there with some base underneath it, preventing weeds, that sort of thing, is going to be a challenge for that hedge if we have to do any excavation along there.
Isn't that going to happen with the,
You have to do that
with
with
the
the driveway anyway.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue, that's a given.
Yeah.
So if I can respond to
Yeah.
the chair. The answer is yes. What we're taking something away from the historicity of the house. And that's something as a HLC we find highly offensive. And our job is to defend and prevent anything being, I know I'm being dramatic. It's late in the afternoon, I'm very tired. That's my point. So replicate this, or keep this, or make it nicer, that's fine. And again, it doesn't have to go all the way back, I think, and bring it up to the gate, which would be fine. I just don't want that very significant historical element to be lost. And then I'll go to the color. They should be the same color for the same reason. The new and the old match the color. So that's all. That's my.
Okay, Commissioner Jordan, we'll just march down the line.
Yeah, the comment you raised about how flexible could we be about the driveway, I'm willing to be very flexible. I think you can keep the ribbon driveway and be flexible with how it's treated in 2025.
So other materials on other sides or whatever,
Yes.
or in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Commissioner Lenvick.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a problem. You know, we talked maybe about putting gravel down the middle.
Yeah.
One of the things that occurred to me and involved in my homeowners group is that for fire safety, the perimeter of the building now is being recommended to have 3, 4, 5 foot of gravel around as opposed to planting for fire safety reasons. And we have found that along with a lot of other things done with your houses can bring insurance costs down if you comply with the fire safety standards.
Or
So-
even to get in fire insurance.
If you can get it, yeah. But, and you've got, improved pavement around most of the house, but the front of the house, if you had gravel, across the front of the house, 3, 4 feet out, that would present a fire protection, and then had gravel down the middle of the driveway, there's some connection maybe, I don't know.
Pardon my interruption through the chair to Commissioner Lundbeck. I do want to just caution urging the applicant to incorporate gravel into the driveway because I know transportation is not usually supportive of gravel driveways. I think they don't allow gravel within like 15 feet of the street or something like that. So just wanted to throw that out there.
So, so with all the considerations that you need to make considerations, and with the understanding that design may or may not be able to get gravel to work as portions of this or not. So I think that's, and also depending on where transportation might think that the wheel, if it has concrete on where the strips are right now, or brick where the strips are right now, whether they make exceptions for it or not. I think that's going to be all part of that question. Or whether it's just brick and concrete within a similar ribbon. Okay, so, but keeping moving, Commissioner Ensberg?
Okay, I'll just try to keep this very brief. Yeah, I think I 100% agree with Commissioner Butler. That's what we're here for. And, you might look at this picture and think, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't find it terrible at all. I think it's really a beautiful example. I mean, it's obviously needs a little care there, but it's original. And I find it to be delightful. So I absolutely, I would, and I will always probably be on the, opposing of transportation because they would like to have concrete everywhere, and I would like to have concrete nowhere.
Let's strike that from the record.
But I'm, from aesthetic,
Yes.
So find the balance of what you have to do, but I think the ribbon is really important, and if it could be, maybe it's impossible to do, but if there could be just gravel on the side and up by the house, as Commissioner Lenvick was saying, for other reasons, I don't find that to be, I think that can be very beautiful and elegant and simple. Simple is better from my point of view. So yes, the ribbon needs to be there in some way and reduce the amount of concrete to the degree you can. And those are my comments.
Okay. And then Commissioner Lodge?
Well, I agree with Commissioner Butler. So keep it at least up to keep the ribbon, what is there, at least up to the gate.
Okay. All right. So.
Can I request a 2-week continuance?
Yes, you can. So I think that I'll just summarize the comments here. First, we want to thank the applicant and everyone for all the hard work and that they put into this, and you're almost there. Two things really. So we want to thank you for all your hard work for this. It will be an incredibly great addition to the property and sensitive to the historic resource. And so we thank you for all your hard work. And with that, we also recognize the struggle that is the complexity of design especially with historic structures. So so then the other comments are that to return for an indefinite continuance, 2-week continuance. Do we have ability for that? Do we have space?
If the applicant feels that they're able to submit by Monday, we can get you on November 19th.
Okay. So
Monday, 5 p.m.
So the next hearing is November 19th, so we would need plans submitted by this upcoming Monday.
By 5 p.m.?
Yes, by end of day Monday, yeah.
And this is full board, right?
No, so that was actually my next thing. It seems like this can be done at the consent level as long as the consent, because it are okay with it. And if it has to get called up, it will be, which is going to slow it down another round. So you have the option, I think, my guess is that we have the option to do it. Is there, Commissioner Ensberger, you?
I'm just noticing that our consent people are not here today.
That's even all the more reason to put it on their shoulders.
As long as they've watched
Commissioner-
this
Commissioner McClure will not be able to review at consent either way. If we have a commissioner that would like to attend that hearing in his place, as far as I know, Vice Chair Uli will still be reviewing. But if there's a commissioner here who would like to volunteer to join consent for that one item.
Is there anyone who wants to be a volunteer? Yeah, you open your mouth first, Commissioner Butler.
It's your driveway.
Yeah,
We're going to say here's Butler's driveway.
Thank you, Commissioner Butler.
If they pass you, then they've got it.
Oh, it's
Yes.
broken.
Yes.
11 o'clock, can you do, yeah?
That's, yes.
11 o'clock on next,
On-
or
for
2 weeks
2
Wednesday?
weeks. Yes.
Okay, great. All right, thank you for your volunteer. And thank you,
love the
Commissioner
house. I love the
Ensberg, for the
house, okay?
voluntold. Well played. Okay, so to return, in 2-week continuance to return on consent, with this additional 2 comments. One is to include the ribbon driveway in the design, at least up until the gate, and to come back with an option or two for, or options for the commission to consider.
Or beyond if they wish, but.
Or beyond, yeah.
Yeah,
or
whatever.
beyond. But at least up to the gate, so. And then regarding color, that the color, let's just start with this. Would you be open to looking, are you really stuck on white, or you can look at other colors, especially some darker ones that are more kind of set back,
Either
doesn't be
match
super
or be
dark.
darker. We
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay.
Or match.
Yeah, match, okay, so with the comment to either match that main house or match or darker. I do think that we should allow for a complementary, that is standard enough for these type of buildings. Sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. But at least, I think we should give them the flexibility that is at least normal for within. We normally don't make everyone match.
Do you think
everyone
do you feel strongly that the gate should match and
The
then
gate should match the
everything
house.
everything
Sorry, I
behind?
should have
Okay,
differentiated.
yeah.
The gate, yeah, I think everyone was in agreement that a gate and fence should match the house.
Yes,
And
and then
then-
beyond
And then
that, it could
the
match or not.
garage/ADU could be either darker or match. Is that?
Oh, no, that's not where I was going in my mind. I was thinking we were just talking about the gate itself and that the ADU still can be a standalone structure in a slightly different color. If the white is too harsh, I can have a different color. I don't have to match it or be darker.
So I'm trying to follow the rationale.
Yeah.
The ADU is being somewhat designed to match the main house.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. I mean, as much as an ADU can. So why is the color excluded from the rationale to try to match?
So I would
primary
argue
house?
that oftentimes, it's not uncommon that a secondary additional building does not match the paint of the main house. It's not a universal historic thing. That's what I would seem that, at least in my experience, that has been the case. Oftentimes it does match, but it's not a requirement, and we don't usually require them to match now, sometimes that's an easy way of making it look nice, is just to match it. You match it, you're done. But in the same way that the ADU or other auxiliary buildings are oftentimes complementary to the main house, but not as complex or not as colorful or not as whatever, they sometimes are at least secondary in that as well. But my main issue is that visually, I think the part of the issue that we're all seeing is the bright white. So the bright white actually jumps forward more than, now these are sadly colored things, but if they were painted nicely, they would probably be, the colors would be a lot nicer, more vibrant. But my thought is the white is not helping you because the white is jumping forward. So something they're complementary or match the main house. And that's where I would say we normally don't make them match. But that could be an easy fit.
And also, sometimes the architect's opinion is of some value. And maybe we shouldn't be trying to override him all the time.
Well, that's why I want to try to give him some options.
I see.
Well, because I think that the brightness of the white was jumping forward and was.
Let's blame Revit for that.
Well, but then you got to show us something better then.
You drive by this, today you drive by this house, and I do it several times just to make sure I'm looking what I'm looking at. You never really see that building that garage back there. I mean, you go by and look at it, and the main house, guys, you're right, but you never see that garage back there. You know?
And I even think the level of that Revit that was taken from looks like it might be a little bit higher than eye level, which would make the fence block your view potentially as well, but maybe not.
I don't think we should be driving the architect all the time to our opinion.
Okay, so color-wise, what do we want to give them as the feedback? So match the fence and the gate to the house. Everyone's in agreement with that.
Sure.
So now the ADU and the ADU garage, is there, I guess our options would be, let's just do a straw poll vote. Options would be match the house or it's fine the way it is. That's one option. That white is fine.
Do you want to ask that question? Are we taking, okay.
White is fine versus another combo, which is going to be either match the house or match the house.
But let's just keep it simple and say, if it's, you have white the way we have it right now.
As proposed.
Or we have match the house, or we have some other color that you want to propose that you feel works with the whole composition. So there's three options. There's the white. Does anyone approve of that?
No, so actually, I want to differentiate, because this is important, I think, because what I want to vote on for myself is you can either match the house with the back house or give us a different version, and that white is not acceptable. So those are two things that they could do. They don't have to do match the house, or they don't have to do another complementary color. So I want to leave that open to them, so there's actually some choice. It's just the white, the white as presented, it's not great for the other building, in my opinion.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
Because it's still going to require a sales job. If you come back in with another color that is not the color of the house, you got to sell it to us and make us think, yeah, we love this. We think you knocked it out of the park. We think it's great. Or there may be some of us who might say, no, we don't really think that works. If you match the house, you're guaranteed that you're going to probably get a lot of support, I'm guessing.
Okay, so I'll just ask one simple question. Is the color as proposed acceptable? That's just a basic question. So is the color, no? What do you, Commissioner Jordan, no?
Yeah, it seems acceptable.
Okay, no. Okay, so you're getting majority, all but one, say that the color as proposed not acceptable. So then the next part is everyone okay with matching the house? I just want to get clarity on that. Would you be acceptable to matching the house?
Sure. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so universal could match the house, and then would you be acceptable with some other proposed color as long as it's acceptable to?
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, some other, as long as it's accepted. That's the rule.
Yeah, if everybody says yes, then we'll go.
So there we go.
with it,
Okay,
but
so
I don't know.
now I think there's clarity. I want to give them clarity on what it is. So
Our job is not to design.
So if you come back with fuchsia, or you come with
Mr. Chair.
Kidding. We're designing it for them.
For that final straw poll on if another color would be acceptable, can you Can I
Yeah,
get
what-
a
what did
read
you-
on
what-
who,
I
what
said
the
maybe.
vote was?
That's not, you got yes or no. It has to be, no, I finished.
It might be. I
No,
don't
but
know until I
said
see
if
it.
we accept it. Like, if, come back with another color for, would another color be, if we're okay with it, if HLC is
Yeah,
okay
it has
with
to be
another color?
approved, but they
Yes.
have to.
Another approvable
What I'm
color.
trying to say is you are taking a risk.
Yeah, but
Because you could come in with another color, it could be purple or something, whatever it is, and we might say no.
Soft purple.
All right. It could be Jeff Shelton Green with the Victorian down the street with all the paintings all over it.
It could be, maybe.
You
it
can
would
always
be-
appeal to city council too.
You're right.
And you might win.
You're right, I
And you
do.
might win, exactly. I think your big mistake right now is calling it white. It's Navajo white. It's antique white. It's not white.
Okay, so anyways, let's keep going. So I
So to
think the
clarify, yeah.
conclusion is what, you're saying yes or no? Because there's no maybe. We get to say yes or no to.
Well, what was the question? The question was,
question is-
if they come in and show a color that all of us agree on, would I agree? Well, that's kind of a strange question, isn't it?
Mr. Chair.
No, but it's
So
not.
the question, the straw poll question is, would you accept another color other than white or matching the main house?
Yes,
So,
potentially.
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Okay, there we go.
Potentially.
Because you could say no, absolutely not, you have to match the main house. You
Potentially.
could
That's
say
what I said, maybe, potentially.
I think he should appeal to city council and we'd be put in our place.
that. Okay.
We'd be put in our
Nice.
place real quickly.
Good. Okay, yes, Commissioner Jordan.
2 quick comments. I want to endorse or agree with what Commissioner Lenvik said about letting the architect design. I think it's
Exactly.
been made clear our reservations about color. Let the architect design. The second comment is, it does not have to be a unanimous decision of this board.
True.
That's right.
So you can come back, the
Yep.
architect
And-
can come
It's
back
just a-
for the presentation.
All
that
you gotta do is
persuades
have a
most of
majority.
us.
Yeah, and actually, you're going back on consent, so all you gotta do is
We're easily
convince
bribed with
commi-
donuts, okay? And next meeting, bring the donuts.
And that's not true for the public, because, we don't televise those.
Is this what people complain about us?
Okay, no, so let's.
I want stuff like this?
Commissioner Lenvik, I do want to identify something, even though we're doing it in a slightly disorderly fashion. Color, we have a historic color guide for a reason. They have people to come with color and material choices for our expertise. I think we're giving good, clear instructions. They know they can match the existing house and have it 100%. They can bring back another color and take that chance. And they can, but the current, as proposed, white was not acceptable, at least for the majority. So that's pretty straightforward. There's a lot more than white than you can choose from, I'm sure. And then you can probably then go in a couple of years and just paint white anyways with with Nicole's permission. Well, actually, Nicole's not going to be here, so the new architecture historian. So as long as you don't do anything else in the project. All right. So with that, so I think we have our color directive and our driveway directive. I think that's it, unless there's anything else.
Chair, there was, Commissioner Lodge brought it up about possibly detailing, possibly looking at the gate itself, and maybe you want to detail that a little bit more.
Yes, okay.
In some way to,
Is everyone in agreement that having, we'll say, adding additional detail, let's see, with studying piers, because as square, I really don't think there should be round columns, but square piers. So piers, incorporating piers into the design for the rollaway fence.
A question about language. Is it enough to say, study the gate? We've already said
Yes.
that we don't like the white color. So we're sending them a directive to restudy that, I'm calling it a
That
security
element,
gate.
yeah.
That element.
yes.
Do we want to be more specific and say it has study with peers? I'm not sure we do. I think it's coming through loud and clear. So restudy that gate. But
Or how about this, maybe to restudy the gate to make it more compatible with the main house. And you've heard the ways in which we've thought as ideas, and as you study it, look at ways of making it more compatible with the historic house.
yes.
Okay, great. And
Just to clarify the comment on the color, it was that the gate and fence should match the main color house. And then the garage and ADU is to either match the main house or be compatible or appropriate color.
Yes,
Okay.
and say, oh, and I think we should add the proposed white is not, proposed white color is not acceptable, and then those are the response notes. And then,
Does Kristen Sneddon ever call you after these meetings?
we'll see.
Oh, boy, if she doesn't call this time,
We'll talk about it. So, and just for, just for confirmation on this item as well, for clarity, is this the first time it's come to us for final?
Third.
If you don't mind, I'd like to interject that we submitted plans back in
December.
No. It was in the end of August to get on September's agenda. It's like September 8th or something like that, and staff wanted it to be 100% finished. I wanted to be in progress, and they said, oh, no, we'll put you on for full board. So now we're for final, and now we're going to be kicked around for another 2 weeks, which is, I wanted to have this discussion 2 weeks ago or even 4 weeks ago and not be at the final level. So we've been sitting on these plans for 4 weeks. And that's what happens, unfortunately. But I don't mind in-progress reviews. That's what I see this as. And the next one is going to be the cleanup, and then we're here for final.
Okay, and is this their first time here for final with this? Because I know there's
Correct. It's first time for here, but it should have been in progress because actually you, the board, asked for an in-progress review, and staff made the decision, oh, your project is so simple, it's an ADU, we'll just take it straight to final, which was nice, but it still didn't happen.
But so now just final became the in progress and almost there. So we're not so bad. This is one round of final. So it'll be a second round on consent. And I think you just have these last little pieces. So, okay, so maybe I won't get a call from Kristen Sneddon tonight, but we'll see. Okay, any other comments to add? Oh, I guess there hasn't been a motion made, but was there someone that would like to make a motion with those comments? For a 2 week and continuous.
I'll make the motion to
consent.
continue for 2 weeks to consent with comments.
With including those comments.
Including our comments.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay. All right, thank you.
That's not going to make it.
What's that?
There's two, actually, I can back up.
You're not going to see this. You're not going to see this again.
That's right.
I know,
It's going to
it's coming to
consent.
consent. I'm paying
It's for the
attention.
ribbon drive and for color. And for the.
And the gate design.
Gate refinement.
And when it comes back to consent, if there's some questions, we will ask them at the time. I might have a question and ask for it to be described more. But that's what we're trying to do today, is get them to consent.
Another thing for the architects in the room to understand that the code changes on January 1st, and we want to get final from HLC before the 19th of December so we can get into the building department, because we already got engineering, and I plan on being here in 2 weeks with the main residence expansion to push out. So there's a lot of work happening in these moving parts, and the color and all these things. If anything can be put saying, I'll give you final, except these things need to come back after, I'm more than willing to take that as an option, because the ribbon driveway is going to be one of the last things we build, and this gate.
So unfortunately, we can't say with these portions to come, once we give final.
It's final.
It's final, so we have to in some way define it. So a few of our ways of doing it are, we could say with the colors, for example, we give it final with the colors not approved, but to work with Nicole, the architecture historian, to get an approved thing, because it's of a thing that the architecture historian could be the staff check for that. Whereas other things like the refinement of the gate would not be a normal thing, or I don't know, we wouldn't do it. We've never done it, where we say like, this design still is not there. So you either pull it out of your set and say that you're not getting this permitted in the set, or it has to be clearly defined in some way that we can say, okay, so, and we can't say like, work with the architecture historian to figure out your design for your piers and for your this and that. So there are certain things that we can say, and like the last project, for example, didn't have the details of the muntins and things like that, but we can define it in such a way that the architecture historian can make sure that it actually got done to match the existing in a visual way, however that got done. So we have to be able to define it in some way if we're going to give it final. We can't give it final and say you still have to come back to us. So we can pull parts out of it, but we can't. But the problem is with that would be pulling the driveway out, and then.
We're going to be back in 2 weeks with a solution.
Oh, great. I love that answer. Okay.
We're trying to make it better. We just want it to be right.
And I did study.
It's tough.
I know,
get that.
it's a
You've done
tough
such
one, 'cause-
Well, you've done such a great job on
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah.
I really understand that you get right down to this, and then suddenly somebody like me throws a red flag, you know? So I appreciate the work. And we
Yeah,
just-
and it is a tough
We think
design
we're making it better by
question.
what we're offering.
Let's vote.
Okay, so with all that, can I have a roll call vote?
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I will begin with Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvik.
Yes.
Commissioner McClure.
Gone.
Oh, he's gone, sorry. Commissioner Lodge.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden.
Yes.
And Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Almost there. You guys are almost there. All right, with that, I will adjourn.
Okay.